Hello, YouTube world. Today, I'm bringing to you again another wonderful episode we have going on here. We're on a nice little run. If you guys have been following me, great. If not, check up on the other episodes. You know, this is an opportunity for me to share with you my personal life, and not only that, but I am attempting to enrich the stuff I provide to you by going above and beyond and adding to my personal story by doing research and discussing other topics with it. So I hope that my goal is achieved, and that's why I encourage you guys go check out the other episodes. Each episode is just something different about me that I'm sharing with the world. I encourage everybody to do it. I think it's a really good idea for people to do who've had a lot of experiences, who think a lot, who have a lot of ideas, who are imaginative, who basically just want something to do. I think it's really good for people to do that, and that's why I'm doing it, because I think it's good to do. And you know, each episode is just different. You know, cool topics, cool things I go over, and I pair them up. I pair two different ideas each episode, and you know, you get to see how they work out. Do they work out? Is it a success, or is it just like, whoa, these two things are just not even related at all? Or you're like, wow, yeah, I could see how he would put that together with that. Yeah, that okay, I can actually see that. Yeah, that's the goal. But you know, who knows? I've watched through my episodes, and I think the flow of it's good. So I think in a sense it's good, but I'm still waiting for one of those good episodes. One of those good episodes where you really get a good idea of a really good connection. And you know, you don't come by those every day, because those take work. Those take time to get to. When you're putting out something, and when you're putting an effort into something, you're not going to come across the gem right away. It's always going to take time. It's always going to take hard work to get there. So even though, you know, I'm a little disappointed that I haven't been able to get the visual that I want between these two ideas I'm pairing up, the flow is nice. It makes sense. The conversation's cool. And, you know, it's not a complete waste of time. So yeah. So today, you know, was a special one, because you know, when I think about my friend Manuel Ruiz, who died, I think about how he died as a hero. He basically, you know, he raised his hand just like me, and took the oath just like me in the military. And so that right there, you know, made him a hero. He's a hero because of that. He joined the military for the same reasons that I joined. I joined because I wanted to do something. I wanted to be not selfish. I wanted to give to the people around me and stuff like that. And I wanted to be a hero. And that's the same reason why he joined. And, you know, the only difference with him is he was on a mission over the skies of Iraq when a insurgent shot his helicopter down with a SAM missile, a surface-to-air missile, brought down his aircraft and killed everybody inside. He was in there as well. And so he paid the ultimate price for, you know, serving in the military. And that's the price that you have to be ready to pay when you're in the military, because you know, it doesn't come at a cheap price to be a hero. And I don't think a lot of people think about it that way. So it's kind of unfair because people don't think about it in those terms. When people join the military, they just want to, you know, they see the military as something to look up to. It's a way out. It's a better life and stuff like that. But the death is always, especially when war is going on, death is always a possibility. And unfortunately, um, Manuel Ruiz, my friend, he gave his life, and he was, he died a hero. And I'm proud that he was able to give his life that way, and it wasn't because everybody has to die. So in a sense, he's kind of lucky because he died in a positive position where he's out there being a hero, performing his duty. On this night, he wasn't able to complete his mission. He was shot down and he was cut short of his mission. But people like me continued the mission forward and being a hero and saving lives out there. And but he died a hero. Manuel Ruiz died a hero. He did the same job as me. He was a casualty evacuation corpsman. We went through the same school together. After we did one of our training together, we went through a training program together in the military. And after the training program, we were selected by a senior chief to voluntarily come into a program called the Casualty Evacuation Program to perform a special mission in Iraq. And the special mission was flying in helicopters and saving people, transporting patients, making sure that people who get injured out there don't die. And we volunteered. All of us volunteered. He volunteered. I volunteered. We raised our hand. We said we wanted to do it. So we both went into the casualty evacuation program together. We deployed the first time together to Iraq, and we were in the same unit and stuff. And that's when we became friends. Well, we were friends before that in the initial training we went through. We were friends in that program, and then we continued to be friends through casualty evacuation. We became closer friends in casualty evacuation because it was a smaller unit, and it was a small. Only a few people were training there. It wasn't like a program that was command wide or like military wide. It was only a small population of the military that was selected to do this. So during that time, we got closer together as friends and stuff, and then we ended up deploying together to Iraq with the same unit, doing the same stuff. Just living our dreams of being a hero. I didn't die a hero, but he died a hero, and I'm proud that it's kind of like he almost like made it, because some people are murdered in their homes. Some people die of a heart attack inadvertently. Other people go out and take grasp of their destiny and die that way, and die a hero. And that's how he died, not killing people but saving lives. So and it kind of adds a little twist to hero, because when you think of a hero, you think of the military, but the military is synonymous with killing and stuff like that. But the military is a lot more than just killing. The military is responsible for a lot of help around the world. Humanitarian aid comes from, a lot of it comes from the military. And, the military does a lot to keep the peace also. But a lot of people think of the military just as war and guns and stuff like that. But even then, he was a casualty evacuation corpsman. We were casualty evacuation corpsmen, where we were supposed to save lives. We weren't even out there to keep the peace or to kill people or to hunt anybody down. We were there to keep people alive. So it adds a little twist to the hero thing, but the bottom line is we joined the military to be heroes, because what the military stands for as a whole is something that's heroic, something that is So despite what our job was within the military, he was still a hero. He wanted to serve the country. He wanted to give his life in service of the country and to benefit everybody else. And that's exactly what's happening here. His life is being paid forward to me through this story that I'm telling you about Manuel Ruiz. And so, his life is, his heroism is reaping dividends. We deployed so we ended up deploying to Iraq in 2005. We complete our deployment. After that, we come back and then we go our own ways. I go to another unit. He heads back to Iraq again with the different unit, but doing the same job. And that's when his aircraft was shot down by insurgents, and we got the horrible news that he had been killed in action. And so, it makes me sad that I wasn't there and stuff like that. But we had a service for him. We did a service back in the base for him. We were thinking about him, praying for him, and just reminiscing about the person that he was. But he died a hero. He died doing what he raised his hand to do. And not a lot of people get that luxury. So, he's kind of lucky in a sense. He's not lucky how he died. We don't know how much he suffered or anything like that. So that, in that sense, it's kind of iffy, because that part of it, we know he was shot down by a surface-to-air missile. How quickly he died, we don't know. Another hero I want to tell you about, John McCain, Senator John McCain. He was a hero too, but he was a hero for a different reason. Yes, he raised his hand and he was in the military, or he voluntarily joined the military, which makes him a hero for that, but he has a different level. His heroism is multiplied by his actions when he was captured as a prisoner of war. He was captured as a prisoner of war during Vietnam, when he was flying a mission in Vietnam. He participated in a famous mission called Operation Rolling Thunder. He was a part of that, and during that mission he was shot down, injured very badly, nearly died, was tortured on his way to his prison cell in North Vietnam. They tortured him even before he got there. And so even before the torture started, he was already in bad condition. A lot of bad stuff had already happened to him, and he's just 5 years out from the length of time that he was about to stay there. But during that time, they found out who he was, that he was the son of the admiral overseeing the entire war in Vietnam. And so the North Vietnamese sought to their advantage to offer him early release. And this is a quote, McCain refused repatriation unless every man taken in before him was also released, according to Wikipedia, www.en.m.wikipedia.org. So again, according to that, McCain refused repatriation unless every man taken in before him was also released, quote unquote. So he displayed an immediate an immediate display of heroism. It's an immediate display of heroism because he could have left. He could have thought of an excuse to leave, even though it's against military code of conduct to leave, to accept favors from the enemy. He could have still said he forgot, or he was so far out of it um, that he just accidentally agreed to being let out early. But he makes the decision to say, no, I'm staying here unless every other man taken in before me is also released. And he's a hero to those guys, to his fellow prisoners, and kind of gives them his heroism reaps profits at the dividends at the time, because their morale is better. It strengthens their relationship, their ties while they're there, which is needed more than anything at that time. They need to have their relationship strengthened. If at any time, now is the time to have those relationships strengthened. And McCain is a hero for doing that, for taking that selfless act and decision and paying it back to his fellow prisoners. That makes him an immediate hero. On the spot, a hero to those few men that are around him. And even to me, I see it as, yeah, he could have, even though it's against military regulation, he could have still come up with something to agree to just be let out early, because he had been tortured up to that point really bad. He had almost died already. He was in a lot of pain. But no, he didn't. And it's true, he stayed in there, and eventually he was released once the war ended. I don't know how he was released, but eventually, obviously, he was released. As you guys know, he has since died, so he's still a hero. He's going to be an ultimate hero now, and even when he was alive, he was a hero then. Now that he's dead, he still is a hero, and he's a hero times two, because he made that decision to say, no, I don't want to be released unless people before me get released, because that's just not fair. That's not right. It's against the military code of conduct to do that. That's against the military code. And so, he did the heroic thing, and his men loved him for it. They loved him for it. The country loved him for it. The heroism he displayed reaped a lot of dividends in the future as well, because he ended up becoming successful in many areas. He retired as a high-ranking officer. He gets into government. He, up until his death just recently, he was in the federal government. He was working in the federal government as a successful person. So his story is unique. Those are two heroes. My friend Manuel Ruiz, he died saving lives, but we all saved lives there. But more importantly, he was lucky enough to die a hero, because he joined the military as a hero. He wanted to take grasp of his destiny, and he died in that state, which is a positive thing. And I think that he's lucky for that he died a hero, because a lot of people die as rape victims, die a lot more horrible deaths. And so those are two heroes. One, my good friend Manuel Ruiz, died as a hero. John McCain, another hero, he died as a hero as well, because once a hero, always a hero. Or at least at one time he was a hero. So he didn't die as a hero, but he that was still a part of his character, I guess you could say. It was still a part of his character. He died as a U.S. senator, working for the country and stuff like that. But his that's a story of heroism that he displayed, and he was a hero. So yeah, he is a hero. Yep, he was still a hero then. So those are two heroes. Um, I just like, I think about the cats in the military today, and I'm thankful that they're in the military. But more importantly, I'm glad that they get to live out their destiny and take in grasp of their destiny. Because our military is a volunteer military, so nobody's forced to go into the military. People join because they want to join. So it makes me happy knowing that people out there are getting to fulfill that role, that unique desire that people have. And it's a unique thing about the military. It's a unique thing about the military. Our military, it's a volunteer military. There's militaries out there that aren't volunteer militaries, such as the Israeli military. People in Israel, citizens of Israel, when they turn 18, they have to join the military for a minimum of either 3 or 5 years. So in some places, it's not the same. So heroism changes when when you start bringing in factors like that. Because for us, we wanted to join because we wanted to help the people around us. We wanted to give back to the people around us. We wanted to make a good name for our families, for our friends. We wanted to protect the country. We wanted to keep the country safe from terrorists, from people causing harm to our country, such as the terrorist attacks of 9/11. We wanted to do that, and so we reached out and grabbed something that allowed us to do that, to reach our destiny, to be a hero. That's being a hero. To take grasp of that, of a selfless act. And that Manuel Ruiz did the same thing. My friend who died, he was young when he died. John McCain was old. He was way old when he died. My friend Ruiz, he was in his early 20s. McCain was like 80 something. He was up there. He was way up there. Some other differences is Ruiz was Hispanic, McCain was white. Some similarities: they were both in the Navy. Ruiz was in the Navy, McCain was in the Navy. I don't know where McCain was born, but Ruiz was born in Maryland, in Baltimore, Maryland. I don't know where McCain was born, but I don't think he was born. Oh no, yeah, he was born in Panama on a military installation or something like that. He was still a U.S. citizen, so it had to be some kind of military thing. So yeah, he was born in Panama, and Ruiz was born in Baltimore, Maryland. McCain was an officer. Ruiz was enlisted. McCain flew in jets, and Ruiz flew in helicopters. So yeah, it's kind of, to compare it, it's kind of interesting. The most interesting one to me is that they're both in the military. The similarity, I find that to be most interesting to me, that they are both in the Navy. So those are the story I have for you guys today. Thanks for sticking around. Stay tuned tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and we'll continue discussing just different things. Talk to you later. Peace out.